Welcome to Dear Young Queen, the podcast.
Oh. No new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no. After 40 years.
Woo.
How you feel, girl?
I'm still down from day one.
With a bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
But there's some new ones in there.
It is. You know, I feel like when you look back at like just your quarters, now that I'm 40, you have the first quarter, which was the first 10, and then the next 10, which was from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, now 30 to 40, those pockets. I still have some from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's start with like sisters, right? Your sisters are your friends, and then you can segue into childhood friends, and then adult friends, business friends, associates. So many friends.
You had a big birthday bash a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I saw friends from all walks of life come and celebrate you. People that flew in, drove in, got hotel rooms together with, everybody really showed up, and I just felt like friendship. What a good topic. But anyways, before we dig into it, I forgot.
I know, right?
What's in our cups? We got some fancy cups here today.
Well, since it is off of a birthday, I feel like it'll be appropriate to have a morning after drink.
Great. The morning after pick-me-up is what this is.
The morning after pick-me-up.
What's in here?
It's light and refreshing. So we have a Prosecco as the base. And then ruby red grapefruit, a little splash of the juice from the ruby red grapefruit.
Okay.
And just some mint.
I love it. It smells good too.
Right?
It does. It smells like a little spritzer, like a little relaxing type of fruit spritzer vibe.
Yeah, so you still have the bubbles that wake you up, and then the mint, get that breath right. You know?
Right.
And then the citrus, so you have some fruit. So
I love it. Well, cheers.
Yes, hi.
Girl, I got to do this cheers where you have a broken nail and you have to hide your nail. I'm on that type of time today. This nail is so bad. Look at this.
Well,
sometimes you gotta tuck it. You like ever take an Instagram photo with a broken nail and you're like, wait, let me do that again.
Yeah, you have to alter it. Yes. So,
okay.
I got an eye on you.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If you see that nail in the camera somewhere, just be like, tuck it, girl, tuck it.
I got you.
So I pulled up a few questions on friendship that I wanted us to explore today. Let's just start with a good first time question, since this is obviously the Dear Young Queen podcast where we talk about first and last. Look at me and my nail again. First and last. First and last.
With the pinky.
The pinky. I'll use this hand. So I feel like adult friendships are interesting. I think that making friends as adults is an interesting concept. I think that maintaining friends as adults is an interesting concept. And I also think in this new age of social media, meeting new friends on social media is also a thing. Or meeting friends who are friends of friends on social media. Like, right? Like you got friends that got a girlfriend she went to college with, and then her girlfriend from college follows you and you follow her because y'all have a mutual friend. And like, it's just like an interesting thing. So I guess my question for you is, can you remember the first person who is now in your life as a friend that you met from social media?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Let me see. Who would be one that would be, you know what? Teyana Taylor. I followed her years ago, and then we became friends.
Was this before Shum came and played at the Knicks?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
It was. So I was just following her vibes and her movement. And then, yes, we became intimate friends, obviously, because we would just see each other in the city.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
That's amazing. Teyana Taylor was an Instagram friend.
It was T. That's one that just sticks out to me in my mind.
Yeah.
Now she has children, so like the kids hang out, birthday parties, things like that, you know? She's a good friend.
In person, you have like your mom friends.
Yes.
Right? Those are all your friends that you met because your kids have activities together and you guys have a shared experience of what it is to mom.
Some common denominators.
Yeah. And so those are like natural foundation for a friendship. Or
absolutely.
Maybe women that you meet through your husband or your boyfriend or your fiance's friends, right? You meet those women and then you have a relationship with them on the basis of your relationship.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's something about social media that the basis of the founding of a friendship is not kids or a partner or location where you live. It's really based on like, I think you're dope.
Your social media is almost like a window of advertisement of just whatever it is that you're into.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, let me see. I vibe with her. Oh, she likes sneakers. Her makeup is dope. She you keep scrolling. Oh, she's in Miami. Oh, she's still in Miami. Is she based in Miami? Oh, she goes to New York sometime. Okay, so you basically are checking off the list or just whatever, like the resume of a friend.
Like, okay, I love a friend that likes, she golfs. Oh my God, this girl golfs.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, there's something weird about it, but the foundation of the friendship is not rooted in necessarily what you have, but like kind of what your aura is.
Yeah. And I feel like, I guess you date friends too.
Yeah.
So you're like, let me see who else her social crew is. Oh, wait a minute. I think I heard about one of them girls.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, you really
date for your friends also. That's
yes,
hilarious.
You can see who they follow, their friends, and
what their whole vibe is. That's interesting. I didn't think about the fact that we do vet them, or even when you meet a girl out, like a new girl out, and then later you guys follow each other on social. Now you dig into everything. You didn't even ask her where she went to school, but you so far down her profile feed, you see her in college or
yeah. And then I also noticed like just moving around and when your following starts to grow, and then you start to be in the streets, people are like, you're my friend in my head.
Yeah.
It's so good to meet you. You look like whatever the vibes are. So like now you're starting to meet people and have friends that are not necessarily your friend that you confide in, and just a social media friend too. Hi, y'all.
Right. Shout out to all the social media friends.
Yeah.
I always have this thing where I describe friendships like a ring on a tree. Right? Because as trees get older, the base of the tree grows and the rings continue. Now,
is it like a ring per year or something like that?
I think you used to be able to count that. I think we got to ask your kids. They got to know.
They would definitely
That's something I think we learned in school, that if you count the rings, it'll tell you how many years the tree has been alive.
Yes.
We'll have to fact check that. But if it's true, then it definitely relates to friendships, right? Like that first ring of on the tree is like your closest friends. Those are the friends that know everything. Those are the friends that know your parents, that know your siblings, that are really like the closest to the roots of who you are as a person. And then as those rings of a tree get larger, they become like your associates and your work friends and your, right? And
that's a big difference. Associates and work friends and
that's what I'm saying. They know different things, right? So as the tree widens, the people in the middle know everything, but the people on the outside know less and less information about you, right? And I think that it's important to understand where people are prioritized. It's like when you say social media friends, that's a different ring.
It really is.
And so it's
just think 5-6 years ago, that wasn't a ring.
It wasn't a ring. It might be the newest ring on the outside of the tree that you have.
Yes.
But those people can move in through the rings.
So it contradicts the song, No New Friends.
Sometimes new friends are the best addition.
I agree.
To your life.
Especially where you are in life too, because we evolve, we grow, and we can outgrow friends.
Have you ever had to unfriend a friend?
Absolutely. For my mental health, for my sanity, there was a friend that would just dump everything on me. And I'm extremely empathetic. I'm a problem solver. And I already got my own shit I got to deal with. I got these kids. I got everything going on. You have to almost give people grace and ask them, is this okay to dump this on you? I can't always
Is this a good time? Do you have a second?
It wasn't fair because I feel like I was getting everything on me and I could never unload on her.
Because you felt like she couldn't receive it?
I don't want to say she was using me because I can't speak for her, but I felt used. I felt like, okay, I'm gonna hit Lex up and dump all this on her, and she can come up with the solution. And then if I do come up with something, she might do the opposite, but it was always something negative. It was always something heavy. And then you almost don't want to start inviting those people around because you're like, okay, if we're going to dinner, we're not talking about this right now.
Right.
Have some good food. You're outside. Let's relax. Let's breathe and just reflect and just chill. And we'll get back to that another time. So like just no awareness and awareness of what my mental capacity could be at that time.
When it came time for you to finally understand that like there was no more space left in your life for her, was this something that you had a conversation with her about, or is it something you just kind of fell back and started to ghost and dip off?
Both. It was both. It was almost like, because I did have so much going on, I don't want to prepare myself. If I have this little slither of time away from my kids and work, just everything like that, and I wanted to be eating a good meal and just relaxing, I just could not mentally prepare. I was preparing to go to dinner. So I feel like it would get like taper off, but then the phone calls became less and less and less. You couldn't just reach out to me anymore. You couldn't get a hold of me as easily.
So it was like a slow burnout.
It was a slow burnout. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully for myself, because I had to start putting myself first. I was like, oh no, this is too much.
The only thing, though, that I feel like I've recently thought about from another perspective is that when people are trauma dumping like that,
trauma dumping,
a lot of times friends don't stop in the middle of their shit. But understandably so, because where else can I dump like this but not on you?
That's one thing that I've also learned too. I have to do a better job of not always just showing that I'm good all the time.
Yeah.
You know, because then I feel some kind of way if people aren't checking for me, making sure I'm good, you know? And vice versa.
So you guys never really had a conversation that said, hey, what
we
you're doing is too much for me.
Absolutely.
But you just didn't have that.
No. Mm-mm.
It's interesting. I've had it go both ways. Yeah. I've sat down with a friend and been like, hey, this isn't working for me. This is the end of our friendship. Mm-hmm. We know where each other's bodies are buried.
Yes.
We were friends that cared for each other. I care about your parents. I care about your family. I have no desire to go out here and disrespect you.
Absolutely.
I just know that we no longer have a friendship here. And as painful as that was to have, it was super healthy and let us both go clearly in other directions. Then I've had friendships where we never really had the conversation, but we kind of just stopped hanging out. Mm-hmm. We stopped spending as much time together. And I think both parties knew what it was. It was just unspoken.
Just very mutual.
It's mutual.
Yeah.
It's very mutual.
I think that's what mine ended up being. Yeah.
The problem for me, though, with those mutual, not talked about ending of friendships is that it doesn't specify, I don't have ill will towards you. So it leaves a lot of wondering or thinking maybe what the other person might be saying or how the other person might be feeling. And I feel like that gets a little messy sometimes.
It gets very messy.
Because you got enough friends in common that maybe one friend wants to be like, well, have you heard from so-and-so? Well, I hadn't heard from her. It starts to get messy.
Like, should we invite her because you don't feel
this is what I'm saying.
It does.
It gets a little bit messy, and I know it's easier and it feels natural, but I've been, as of late, like, encouraging friends to have the tough conversations.
I agree.
I have a couple friends that are like not friends with each other, but I sit in the middle of it. And every time I'm like, damn, well, do I invite this one or I invite this one? Or I do this or this. But if y'all would have had a conversation, I don't have to feel a way about inviting one or the other because they never talked about their problems.
So to be real with you, I'm at the space now where I'm just like, look, I'll invite whoever shows up. That means they're meant to be there. And y'all should act accordingly. It's hard enough getting everybody together in the first place.
That's what I'm saying.
So
as an adult,
show up or don't show up.
Adult friendships damn near require appointments at this time.
They do.
It's like trying to get in the doctor. Are you free Thursday at 3?
Yeah.
Like,
and then you're like, no, what about Tuesday at, no? Okay, January?
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're like, damn, so next year. See you next year.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I just feel like that unfriending thing is always like a tricky conversation. But I'm curious to know if you had this experience at all. In one of my previous relationships, all of my friends became his friends and all of his friends became my friends.
Yes.
And now we exist with this group of friends.
Yeah.
Then you break up. Sometimes the breakup is mutual, and sometimes the breakup, one party does something pretty terrible to the other. And so now in my situation, I had that. I felt like my ex-partner did something nasty to me. And for the next year, I watched people that I had deemed friends celebrate him, his choices, his decisions, his accomplishments. And I struggled so hard with redefining whether or not people were truly my friends or not my friends because of their decision to support him.
Yeah.
In a place where I felt like he did something to me. Mm-hmm. And you're someone that just recently went through a divorce.
Yeah.
Did you have moments where you stopped and reevaluated who were friends because of your relationship, who were actually probably better friends with him than they were with you?
Absolutely.
How many friends were just friends with you because of your relationship?
Yes. I lost a ton of friends from just the split of our divorce. Going through a divorce is a little tougher in that realm because now you have couples involved, or our kids are actually friends, so we still need to have play dates or whatever it could be. And you're already going through the worst thing ever of divorce. So you're already not feeling confident. Like everyone's whispering, everyone's in your business. They like, what happened? It sucks. You do lose a lot of partnerships and who you thought were friends.
What I'm saying is, and again, our situations are very different, but in my situation, I felt wronged. I felt like, how could you be friends and support somebody that did something to me?
But what if they don't know all that was done to you either? They only see the snapshots on the Instagram. They only see that part. They don't know what goes on behind closed doors either.
I know. I'm talking about friends. Your friends know what's happening behind closed doors. Your friends knew.
That you have unloaded
my
some things.
friends knew what happened.
Yeah.
My friends, if they didn't know, should pick up the phone and inquire before just going on to celebrate someone that bothered me. And so for me, that was a major point of contention in a lot of friendships for me. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean that these were friendships that I ended.
Yeah.
But it certainly helped me identify where on that tree I spoke about earlier.
Yes.
Friends
Where
fell.
are you? Absolutely.
Right? Because it's one thing for you to keep a relationship with him because you grew up with him or you've known him for years or whatever, you keep that friendship. But when I look back and say, hey, he never once invited you over to our house to play cards.
Yeah.
He never brought his kids over to play with your kids. What kind of friendship do you have? You don't have a friendship with him.
Yeah.
It feels like what you're doing is running with the party that you think is going to end up being more successful or more
beneficial.
accomplished. Whichever party in this split is more beneficial for you.
Absolutely.
You chose what party you believed you were going to walk away from with more benefits.
I agree with that.
That's weird to me. Why y'all acting weird to me?
Yeah. It's not cool.
But if you know someone has done something wrong to me, tuck that friendship lower. Like, don't be out here yelling and screaming at the rooftop for someone that did me dirty, because I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't.
But you know what, Ash? Not everyone is like you either. So sometimes you have to understand that people can't move like you and cut people off. There's different opinions and different ways of how people want to maneuver. A lot of people are still trying to gain financial benefits.
Yep.
Or they're trying to still maintain social benefits. Status. So, it's not always just like towards you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. That's a good point. That they have their own motives that actually have nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. Either way, but I understand. That split shit is tricky.
Yeah, it is.
That's tricky.
I've been friends with couples that have gotten divorced too. And I'm still respectable, because if you've been in my home, we broken bread and we sit at the same table, then I respect both people, both humans.
Right.
And then your mutual decision to be happy separate. Like, it's okay.
As long as you are supporting both parties in a way that they feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
And healthy.
If I had a friend that was beating a friend of mine and they split, I'm sorry, I can't imagine still being friends with the man that was beating my friend.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
And so there is a line.
Now it's character flaws and traits, and like, do I even want that person in my circle? Do I want to sit down with them? Am I really like, who are they?
But not only that, like, one party here needs protection.
Yeah.
one party here needs more support than the other. One party needs an advocate, right? Yeah. Like there are some times where like that Sweden shit, yo.
Is it Sweden or Switzerland?
It's Switzerland.
I knew it. I was like, I've been sitting here thinking, I was like, it's Switzerland. It's
definitely Switzerland. It's definitely Switzerland. Going back to the rings on the tree, though, I have a funny story. I love
that analogy. I'm going to use that, by the way.
Yeah, you add it. Give it to your girl so like they can start looking at their friendships now like that. I have a hilarious story. So we have relationships with people in our lives that are maybe not necessarily friendships, but there are friendships. Like, for instance, my Amazon delivery guy, we chit chat, we get updates. Like, that's my homie. He's not my friend for real. Like, he doesn't know anything about me, but like,
are cordial.
We're cordial, but like, I check in on how his kids are doing. Like, we check in with each other, right? Or like your nail tech.
Yeah.
Trying to say is though there are a lot of friendships that you develop that are like these light, distant friendships. They don't really know all your business.
Of course.
How's Elijah? Elijah's good. He's playing baseball.
Yes.
You never let your friend know that he's struggling with spelling, right? I'm talking about those type of friendships. You might tell me he's struggling with spelling.
Yeah, you're like, oh, and I have this tutor that.
Yeah. You wouldn't just. There's certain information you don't share.
Yeah.
So she has this relation with her nail tech, which is like they see each other every 2 weeks, and they download on all the things in life. Yeah. And then like she leaves and that friendship ends when she walks out the door. An outer ring of a friendship. It's very much outer, but it's like those are still friends, or people like work friends. Your work friends know everything about you, but like the moment you lock out those doors, you're not calling them after work to be like, how'd the hockey game go tonight? You're catch up with them tomorrow at work.
Absolutely.
So she has this relationship with her nail tech that is, they talk during their sessions, they download, have therapy, laugh, joke, and then she leaves. They don't text, they don't have phone calls. That's the extent of it. And it works. Well, she's at the nail salon and her nail tech asked if she would speak at her wedding.
Wait a minute, was she receptive of that?
She just like, I don't know anyone in her family. I don't know any of her outside friends. I only know what she sits in this 2-hour appointment every 2 weeks and tells me about her husband.
She felt like it was intimate enough relationship because of your words of wisdom, because we touch and we have this connection that I think you should have the speech.
Yeah. And so my friend was completely taken back, and it kind of forced me to stop and think about these random relationships that we maybe don't hold as an inner ring of the circle that to other people you on the inner ring.
Yes.
Think about who do you think you have a relationship like that thinks that there's more of a relationship there or a friendship there than there may be. I'm telling you, interact with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis that you just feel like this is the beginning and end of our interaction. Till you look up one day and their kid is named after you. You're like, what the?
I have a few. I know my mail guy. I do know my FedEx. I know everybody. But I speak to everyone and I'm all up in their business.
Girl, I got a neighbor that parks in the parking spot next to me. It's crazy because actually they have 2 cars and they have spots on the left and the right of me, her and her partner. And I ran into her one time at Orange Theory. After the Orange Theory experience, she's like, we should hang out. Like, no, I like our friendship. We speak when we park. We wave at each other.
And that's
enough. We say, hey, how are you? I like this friendship right here.
Yeah.
It's so fine right here. Girl, I walked into Pilates the other day. Now she go to my Pilates studio. And so now I got to now you've added Pilates friends to our list, and that we work hard parking lot, neighbor friends.
And that was just enough.
And that was just enough.
But
is
she new to the city?
No, I mean I've lived in the same place for 7 years.
For friends, and she see that you popping, your glow, your aura, that you active, you busy. That car is not there all the time. So she's like, look, let me see what you got
while we wait for the elevator, she's supposed to get the update on what I've been up to, and I will get the update on what she's been up to. I'm telling you, we have beautiful, nice little quick garage chats.
Well,
and that friendship is enough for me. You're a Pisces, though.
I'm talking to everybody.
But like everybody doesn't gotta get invited.
No, but I start to feel bad or feel like I'm leaving someone out.
What I'm saying is, how the can you protect your aura by not setting boundaries on where people lie in relationships with you. So like, no, ma'am, we're mom friends. We hang out when our kids hang out.
Okay,
I don't want to go to lunch in the movie theater with you on Saturday.
Well, even now, like I feel like a lot of parents want to play date with me, but I'm like, my kids handled their own play dates at this point. They all have 2.5 Apple electronics. They figure it out. I can't.
2.5 Apple electronics is
you already know.
Plus, they got a cell phone, an iPad,
and a watch. And a yes, laptop.
Yeah. They could plan their date, ma'am. You don't need to call me to find out.
But they do want to hang.
Yeah,
I do have a few girlfriends at the school that I actually like hanging out with.
Yeah, you want to hang out with.
I do like going to lunch. I do want to see them.
But there are some that just you need to be my mom friend.
But they don't need to go with me to the trap.
This is what I'm saying. You are a mom friend. You know where our best conversations happen? In the school pickup line. Yeah. At the bleachers at the football game.
Yeah.
That is where that friendship deserves to live and die.
Let me ask you this question. One of my good girlfriends does not live in Florida. So I see her when I see her. We travel. We'll meet up in different cities, but we're on the phone. We connect some kind of way. So, I have a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of work. But I know I can count on her.
I have 4/ what I consider 5 best friends that range all from, I think the least amount of years that we've been friends has been 12. And then the max amount is 20 plus years. And all 4 or 5 of them live outside of New York City.
Wow.
And all of them moved within a year and a half of each other from New York to LA.
Was that sad?
It was extremely heartbreaking.
It
was one of the saddest things that ever happened to me. It was like a breakup, it felt like, right?
Yeah.
You have to reshape what your friendships look like. And it's funny because if anybody really knows me, they know that 9 times out of 10, you're going to catch me on FaceTime.
Yes.
With one of these 5 women at any point. Exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah, so you'll show up. You'll go and meet up and link up.
But also, I'm totally fine with that's the way that our friendship looks now. Mm-hmm. Our friendship looks like me having lunch while Ashley is taking her girls to school in the morning.
Yes.
That's our pocket that we talk in our schedules because we are on a 3-hour time difference.
Yes, that's another factor.
We're not in the same time zone, right? So when she puts her kids down at 7, 8, 9 p.m., gets a glass of wine and wants to unwind and talk, I'm Z's.
Yes.
I'm deep into my second dream by that point.
Yeah.
So we've had to establish routines where it's like, this is the school drop-off conversation. This is where we get our talk in, right? I know that this morning you had spoken to Amber. I got here at 9 a.m. How did you speak to Amber before 9?
Yes.
Right?
That right before that drop-off.
Exactly, the school drop-off, right? And so it's establishing those pockets. But also, I remember last year when I celebrated my birthday in LA, that I had come to the realization that understanding that my friends lived across the country, I realized that a lot of my own personal celebrations would be just that, pretty personal, like just me, or maybe it's a Zoom call or whatnot.
Yeah, my mom's core group of girlfriends that she grew up with, and we're talking about 65 years ago. Before COVID, they would always try to get together every now and then. But with that Zoom, they lock in with each other once a month.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, they were at the birthday party.
Yeah, that's why she had to go. Your mom was like, I got to go. I'm on Zoom.
Yeah, that's her date. She dresses up. They get a drink. They're intentional about it. And, I mean, they're all spread out.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this for years. So,
There was a time in life when you were younger and you thought that you and your best friends would live in the same neighborhood and marry men that were friends, and your kids would play up and down the same street. And, you thought that this was
the tunnel that you said.
Tunnel would connect your house to her house. Right now, women move away because their husbands get new jobs. They move away for their own job opportunities. They move away because family members are sick. Maybe you got to go home and take care of mom, dad. Maybe you have kids that are in these traveling leagues or have to go to a school where they can get a scholarship, right? And there's so many reasons why life pulls you away. And honestly, your Saturday happy hour, like Sex in the City, meet at this restaurant, is really not much of a reality. It's not. No. And a lot of us have adjusted to those types of friendships.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I'm in this I don't want to call it a new space of being divorced, right? I'm gaining more guy friends. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference between guy friends and my girlfriends.
Sure is.
So, now that I'm in this space of opening up myself to really just receiving guys that are not romantic interests, but as guys' opinions and how men move, and just, I feel like a lot of my guy friends show up for me. They're very protective over me. They're teaching me some game. I think the guy friends are very important too.
So
it could get tricky though. It could get tricky, but
you know what? I am a guy's girl. In New York, I absolutely have more male friends than I do female friends. Without a doubt. In fact,
they know what's up.
Without a doubt.
They do.
And those are not tricky relationships to me.
Okay.
It is, you treat your male friends who you have no romantic interest in very differently than you treat your friends that you have interest in.
I agree.
And as long as a woman, you control that narrative, they feel it.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think if I ever gave any of my male friends the time of day, that they would certainly take it. If I threw it,
of course,
I don't think they would be like, no, Ashley, stop. Don't do this.
Of course.
I think they would be like,
no, don't do it.
Yeah, don't. I don't think that's what happened. But I do know that I have never given them a peace, inkling, thought, idea that it could go there.
That window.
And it's interesting that as I date and men become more aware of like how many male friends I have, that it like is a little bit uncomfortable for them. But like I make sure I answer my guy friend's call in front of the guy I'm dating.
Absolutely.
I make sure I'm with my boo.
Absolutely.
To like clarify it for your boo, but also to clarify for your male friend, like shit still ain't changed.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, I'm maintaining that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And also your platonic male friendship, it's the ones that have really been around for years that are also the easiest to use as a benchmark for how your friendship should be. So for instance, like Nigel is one of my great guy friends. I've known Nigel since I was 17.
Wow.
So when I know that he's seen me through so many different stages of life and with great guys and with shitty guys and ups and downs, it's like, oh no, this is how a man that isn't pressing me and really wants to be my friend treats me. Yes. And so now this is the standard, and I'm going to hold every man that wants to be my friend to this standard. And if he acts out of pocket, I'm like, damn, would Nigel ever do that? Nigel would never do that. This guy has different intentions.
Yes. I've definitely been able to see the difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder if a man would answer the same way. I've talked to a lot of men, not male friends of mine, that say that platonic male friends don't exist, that they're just waiting for the opportunity.
I'm sure there's both. You never know. Maybe
I'm gonna call Nigel and ask.
Let's find out.
Let's ask him.
This is great.
Damn, that's how you living? Hey.
Hello.
Was it your birthday the other night?
It was 2 nights ago. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Like a young queen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nigel, you're live on Dear Young Queen, the podcast. There's never been a man on Dear Young Queen, the podcast.
Oh, you're the
first.
This is
crazy.
So wait, so you don't want to give me like a rundown so I know what I'm walking myself?
Nope, sure don't.
This is epic.
We sure don't.
I may have an answer for you. What's the question?
We're having a conversation about platonic friendships. Then we moved into the conversation that a lot of men feel like there are no platonic friendships, that just waiting for the opportunity.
Nah.
Do you believe that there is a such thing as platonic friendships?
So I guess like, a lot of men, there are like, I would say 6 out of 10 men are definitely like waiting to come for the right opportunity. But then again, there's the 4 men that are built on like, nah, not even if she got drunk and she's out of mind and saying some shit that she's supposed to not be saying. It's like, nah, bro, that's not what we doing, because that's not what this is. And we're never gonna up.
Okay, but are those just ugly friends? Like, are there friends that you're attracted to that you would feel this way about? Or are they just friends that are like, yeah, not so cute?
For sure, you gotta look at like your platonic friends are supposed to sister. Would you sleep with your sister?
Exactly.
Would you sleep with your cousin? No. So it's like, no matter.
It would gross you out.
It would gross you out.
Yeah, they come outside with the shirt with the tank top with no bras. Like, bro, what are you doing, bro?
Right.
But the other side of it is like some of those guys are savages, and some guys like, nah, it'll never happen, just based on respect. So it just depends on the level of that relationship. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Maybe not. You never know. But I would say 6 out of 10 dudes are definitely gonna go for the kill because it's just in our nature to kill stuff.
Are they willing to lose the friendship for the kill?
Well, in my experience, there have been kill motions, and the friendship haven't been affected. But it also depends on the relationship.
So,
But that was good stuff.
but platonic friendships, long distance friendships, friendships after breakups, ghosting friendships, unfriending friends are complicated even at this big grown age.
Them rings are definitely just growing.
When you were younger, all you had to worry about was those first few.
That core.
But as you get older,
It's a little
that's more
tricky.
rings, more shit to worry about.
A little complicated.
A little complicated. We're going to have to invite some friends to sit up here with us next week.
Yes.
Not a complicated one, though.
Not a complicated. Super
No,
easy.
For sure. All right, girl. Well, until next week.
Yes. Well, cheers. I got a little left.
Cheers.
Cheers.